any of those angles he could have intertwined himself into, he completely killed off all in one night.
Now we're going to be talking about The Rock. And he comes out after Triple H. So there's the video introduction. There's Triple H in the middle of the ring. Are you ready? And then The Rock comes out with his People's Championship. And then immediately, now I don't know if you picked up on this. I'm sure you did. How quickly you picked up on this, I'd like to know. Is that he comes out, his music plays. He's smiling, shaking hands, kissing babies, glad-handing with the Netflix types and the TKO executives in the front row. I'm sorry, I think the Netflix guys were in one of these skyboxes, and interacting with his family. All of a sudden, here's the thing: he's now a babyface again. He's been, apart from one brief appearance which didn't lead to anything. The last time we saw The Rock, he was a bad guy and he was feuding with Cody Rhodes. I'm going to be gone for a while, but we're going to keep this going. And then 8 months later, it's almost like there's been Control Alt Delete Reset. You know what I mean? They've got rid of the software and now they've rebooted The Rock. And now he's just completely, he's like base rock babyface once again with no callback to last year. He's killed off 2 angles. How did he manage to do this and why?
It took a lot of hard work, but it only took one segment. It only took one Instagram Live leaving the building to kill all that. You know what I got the vibe or the feeling from The Rock coming out there and all the other stuff? Rock is Hollywood. Rock is LA. This was taking place in LA. He probably knew a lot of people. He was glad-handing, shaking hands. This felt like The Rock on a house show, giving the people the babyface Rock, but undoing over a year's worth of business and killing the angle with Cody Rhodes, killing the thing that could have potentially happened with Roman Reigns, the Solo, any of those angles he could have intertwined himself into, he completely killed off all in one night. Now, on that walk back, here's the Easter eggs on the walk back. And I got something that I don't know if you got. Okay, he walks back, the Drew thing, and Drew just starts cursing and doing whatever. I can say these words and those. But Drew's smiling and laughing, and that's fine because Drew has a very much, I think, a grounded character. He doesn't always have to be the grizzled, miserable, bitter heel. He's just telling his truth, and he's trying to troll people or doing whatever. So that's cool right there. The Cody thing, when he just said, I come in peace, and that's supposed to be all good. Hey, remember that tour bus? Yeah, you had your blood all over it? Yeah, that's cool. Hey, by the way, let's drink some alcohol. And if I'm not mistaken, backing up, didn't Rock bring his kids? Or he brought a child?
Yeah, a couple of his kids were there with his mother, Atta.
Okay. So, Rock is walking through and leaving, by the way, without his family, without his kids. He stops with Cody. Let's drink some alcohol. Okay, let's drink some alcohol. We're going to have some alcohol. And he still had the red Solo cup, right? With him. And he hops in his truck and drives. After drinking some alcohol and leaves his kids behind. You get out. I'm on my own. You're on your own. Find an Uber. Find a Lyft. That was, to me, that was absolutely, and you pair that with Travis Scott smoking pot in the crowd. And then Triple H talking about it on the post-media thing, on the after Raw media scrum. So this night was very strange, where you're actually, now that Brock is a babyface, Travis Scott is smoking pot in the crowd, and Travis Scott has had his own controversy with that concert and everything. He's getting cheered. But the guy who, and of course, drinking and driving and all that stuff. But then you have the guy who basically there wouldn't be a WWE or maybe professional wrestling without. You boo that guy right out of the building. So, welcome to LA, everybody.
So, Cody Rhodes. So, Rock is in the ring. He's doing his interview. He puts over Netflix. He's, as I say, it's one giant masturbatory sort of circle jerk kind of thing, I guess you would say. How great we all are, Netflix and TKO and WWE, etc. But then he turns to Cody Rhodes. And I won't say exactly what I wrote in the script here, but he turns around to Cody Rhodes, who's in the stand. He's in the front row or wherever he is. He's sort of like set back as well. He's just hanging about with the fans like an absolute mark. The WWE Champion surrounded by other people. And then there's a Samoan guy, was it like Samu or something, who looks twice the size of him. And he's behind him as well. So somehow they made Cody look small, look like a fan. And then we'll talk about something else with Cody in a second. But yeah, just the production of having that interaction. And then there's a camera with Cody looking up at The Rock. And he looks like he's on a 10-foot plinth looking down on Cody as well. Just that weird visual.
Yeah, there's a lot to really dissect and break down with that. By the way, all I thought, I was just laughing. I was like, this looks like The Rock granting a wish to a sick kid live on Raw. So they could not have, the WWE champion is sitting there. Now, you can talk about NXT or people that aren't as over. I think everybody who's a full-time roster member should not ever sit in the crowd unless Cody was out there for the entire night, which also could be distracting for the matches to get into the ring to fight Kevin Owens. But they had him out there, and then they shuffled him to the back, empty seats once again, as you said, to have his music hit. If you were doing, why were you even in the crowd to begin with? That just looked like a setup segment. Now let me go to the back for the next setup segment. If you're going to have him out there all night, greeting fans, signing. Maybe you attach it to this person won a contest, so where we can sit in the fancy cinema chairs and watch the show with the WWE champion. Okay, I got that. But then Kevin Owens could do something to draw Cody out to join the fight. I think that would have got an even better response. There was no rhyme or reason for the talent to be out there except they were told to sit out there as marks, especially your undisputed WWE champion. And then, like you said, the reason why the ring is as high as it is and the fans sit where they are is because the guys in the ring are supposed to be larger than life. Not some guy who is retired from wrestling and you may not even know he ever wrestled. It was like, dude, what's that guy behind him? He should be a wrestler, right?
Oh.
All wrong. And I have to say, like, they usually put great amount of effort, and maybe this is I figured 100 would know this is a worker to protect other workers. But the Vince McMahon era wouldn't dare have anybody out there like that. Or why not Cody on commentary for the first Raw? I don't even know. I'm stopping myself right there. You know why? The first show on Netflix, and you don't have the WWE champion defending the title. You don't have every title defended to show, here's all our titles, much less, like even showing the belts. Maybe somebody will go to WWE shop and want to buy a replica belt. You're not featuring the props that you can convert merchandise on. People might be like, wow, God, you guys are really splitting hairs now. Well, that's what WWE used to do so well, is split hairs about everything. And it seems like they're really just, I don't even know, dude. I kind of didn't think all these things until you and I started messaging back and forth about little things here and there. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't, wow. For all the time they had to prepare and everything, it seems like this thing, it feels like this was a 4 p.m. script ripper as they would have done during the Vince thing. And they were writing the show right up to showtime.
It felt to me, right, okay, so The Rock says, I want to make mention of somebody. He's done a fantastic job of being WWE champion this last year, representing the company, which he has. I mean, WWE has had a banner year, and if they had a crappy champion, they may well have done, I don't know. I mean, the momentum's so great with WWE at the moment, but Cody, has done admirably as champion in the face of the company. That being said, the way that The Rock presented it, to Cody, he might as well have reached out and scruffled his hair and say, "Good job, little guy." And then he said something, and
You're
then Cody,
doing it.
Yeah,
you're doing it. You tied your shoes all by yourself.
It's sort of like a Rosie the Riveter kind of. We can do it. Well done, you gold star. And then Cody's reaction is like, because he's obviously mouthing it. Thank you. And then there's a little joke, and then Cody is moved on from, and then The Rock talks about something else. So we've got rid of the Cody segment. That was 30 seconds. Now on to something else. One more thing is that the last time Cody and The Rock shared a ring, it was April after WrestleMania. And didn't The Rock give Cody something and then whisper into his ear, and then Cody was really angry, and then the big mystery of what did The Rock hand to Cody, and what does The Rock have?
The first time The Rock showed up when Cody was in the ring with Reigns on SmackDown, and Rock came out and took the match from him right then for the WrestleMania that started that, and he whispered something in Cody's ear there. That's the part where Cody would, yeah, the very beginning of this whole angle leading to WrestleMania last year. By the way, the reason why Cody is a great champion, a representative of the company, is because they gave him a 2-year storyline before winning the title. That's why Cody got so over. The journey was awesome with that. And even this thing with Rocky, there was such a dip that got everybody talking, like The Rock versus Reigns. Rocky just came in and took the match from Cody and said, better luck next year or whatever. That was awesome stuff that got people talking. For all I know, during that promo, and that's the other thing about this Raw. You had to watch it twice. I had to go watch everything a few times. There was nothing really memorable that got people to stick with. In 3 hours, 20 minutes, and then the post-show thing, it's just nuts.
So one more thing about The Rock that I want to bring up. So there was Roman Reigns and Solo Sakoa. We're not really doing a review of this match, but I wanted to bring to your attention, and you saw this as well. Once again, there were two major programs that The Rock could have worked into 2025 if he chose to work at WrestleMania or whenever it would be. One was against Cody Rhodes, which he managed to kill off in the opening promo. And the second one was with Roman Reigns, which he managed to kill off in the first match. So, at the beginning, he's sort of like milling around ringside, I guess. And then at the end of it, Roman Reigns wins. We're not going to be talking about the 14,000, finisher kickouts, etc. And then, Roman Reigns has friends, but obviously they're at the other side of the arena, so they couldn't come in until the very end. Anyway, Roman Reigns wins. And then he is presented the Ulafala, the necklace, by The Rock. Hi, Chief. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And is it me, or is it the way it was filmed? It just seemed like The Rock was going to turn on Roman. I mean, just every single camera angle looked like that's where it was going, and it didn't.
Could I give you my theory?
Please.
It's a question, more of a question, but I'm leaning towards the answer is yes. Was it supposed to be a Rock turn and Rock called an audible?
Right. My theory is
not a 0% chance in my opinion.
No, it's not a 0% chance, but my theory is that The Rock is not going to be wrestling at WrestleMania this year. So therefore he felt that he had to kill off the potential programs to then get out of the way for other people to do their thing. Am I crazy thinking that?
No, because he's been quoted recently that WrestleMania should be all about John Cena. Didn't he say that in a recent interview? Or he did something. So that could very well, that's a great theory, because with Cena not being in the Royal Rumble and not having his one last run to WrestleMania, I would say that Rock called an audible. But with that factor and with that context, maybe Rock is getting out of the way he's made his tens of millions of dollars from being a part of TKO and the merger and whatever he gets paid as a talent.
Hey, he was just given a $13.5 million bonus in TKO stock in the most recent filing.
And wasn't it like 30 million and $7 because he has $7 production? So they paid him 30 million to be on the board when he initially came over with the acquisition, and the $7 is just basically because of $7, and that's all he had. He's definitely a rags to riches story, an extreme riches story. So maybe I can get the truck now that I'm giving compliments after not complimenting him before. But yeah, I mean, you know what? To me, that's the, how can I say, the contrast to what did I feel like. Now that you put it that way, Rock killed the angles off, which were like, what are you killing the angles off? But it might have been a completely selfless reason that he needed to do it as the boss. Where Triple H seems to insert himself into everything. Would you rather have Triple H voicing it over on the opening is one thing, and it's fine. Did a much better job than I did trying to voice it over. But what if you got the movie trailer guy, or they used to hire out these voiceover people. Oh my God, you can do AI right now and get the voice, any voice you want to do that.
TNA used to do like a sound-alike of James Earl Jones, and I always thought he had a great voice, that guy.
I think he passed away. I'm not sure.
Well,
because
James Earl Jones did, but I mean, no,
not James
sound-alike.
Earl, the guy who does those voiceovers too, because he's the guy. I love his, like, the TNA thing with the satellite dishes moving, and he would do the thing, and yeah, he always did the pay-per-view openings. He used to be a guy. I think he was a WWE guy that would voice it over, and David Sahadi came over from WWE to TNA, and I think they had a connection there. I'm not sure, but it coincides when Sahidi came over to be the director over here, to Florida, TNA here. I don't own TNA. Stop the rumors.